This is journal entry number 3. Today's Friday, March 15th, and we're going to be going into a couple things that have been coming up, right? And they have to do with emotional awareness, with sexual trauma, and with recreating myself. And they're all connected. They're always, everything you're going through in life, it's always connected. But when it comes to the emotional awareness, I find myself feeling like a clean slate within my vessel, or like a blank sheet, like a blank sheet of paper, in many more moments. And I realized that if I were able to do that, if I can really be aware of the emotions that I'm feeling in the moment, I can choose what I actually want to feel more often. And rather than just letting, again, the emotion take over, right? In a sense, becoming more present. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. I've been able to just be more of the observer this past week and see what emotions come up with the triggers, and see how I can flip the script faster in each moment to choose an emotion that I actually desire, right? And with this emotional awareness has come a lot more happiness, a lot more joy, a lot more trust, a lot more belief. But it's taking some time. It's taking some time to get there, right? And I can feel myself becoming more aware, more present, and as a result, that's helped heal and make advancement within my own sexual trauma. As many of you know, I've gone through some stuff when I was a kid, right? And it happened twice, and there was damage there that I didn't know the extent of. But I was having a conversation with one of my buddies. She's a therapist, and I was sharing this process that I did on myself after a meditation, and it just happened. Step by step, I guided myself. My spirit guided me through my own process, and I released this guilt that I held for so long about not being able to tell anyone what happened to me. I couldn't tell my parents. I couldn't tell anyone. I suppressed it, and I felt so alone because of it. And little did I know how much that was really affecting me. But it came through during the meditation. I cried. I broke down, and I felt what I needed to feel. I felt so free, right? And again, I was having this conversation with my buddy, and she was saying, like, Roy, you went through the sexual trauma because you're going to be helping others heal theirs. And I've heard this before. I tell my clients this, right? But I forgot the real purpose, why we go through our own shit, we process our own stuff. Always give it back. And, because of those experiences that I've had, I've been able to create sessions for my clients that have experienced sexual trauma. I've been able to create processes for them to go through that I've taken myself through, and I've released quite a bit of it, right? And we forget that it's everything we've gone through, all the traumas that we've been able to heal or are in the process of healing. It's all for the greater good. It's all to give it back one day, right? So having this understanding really shifted my perspective in what happened, and helped me release this guilt that I was holding on to since it happened, right? My partner, Serena, she was literally there just like holding me and just holding the space. And I went back to that little kid that was so afraid, that was just so lost, that felt so alone. I gave him love. Maybe there's something that happened to you, right? It doesn't have to be as intense, but you got to hold space for you too. And you gotta let go of some guilt too. Who knows, right? But that was huge for me. Releasing that and going into that and having the courage and remembering that, it's all for something higher than beyond us. But yeah, guys, that was a big moment. And I think because I've been learning and growing and acquiring knowledge, I've been able to step up not only my own healing, but my clients' healing, right? Like I read every day. I learn every day. And that's also, it helps with emotional awareness, with being present, with really being tapped into my feelings. Like I'm at a whole other level of intuition right now. I'm at a whole other level of trust in my life right now. And it's because of the studying that I've been able to do, right? The people that I learned from, the material, like the real powerful knowledge, the real powerful material that I'm able to access is and my own life experiences, right? Like my own, again, so I put myself through my own process. Like this is why I've realized I'm able to help at the level that I'm able to help. And it's funny because it has nothing to do with me, but it has to do with me, right? It's like it's just a channel. And that's why I also feel like a clean, like a blank sheet of paper sometimes. Like I know that I'm just a channel, and spirit, source, God is working through me to serve, to help. And it's a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful thing to acknowledge. But yeah, guys, it's been an interesting week. And also I feel having more, what's the word? Having more trust, I guess, on this path. Having more trust on this path has enabled me to take more risks, to take bigger steps, in the sense that I really see failing as a joke. I really see even misguided steps as a joke. Like I couldn't be more trusting than I am now in my life. There's so much more faith that has been tapped into, and as a result, it's deepened my connection to myself as well. I've been able to, again, to have this self-awareness at a deeper level. I've been able to increase the self-awareness. Well, I guess they're kind of one and the same, right? But the growth that has happened because of it is immense. It really is. And I really gotten to see my true power, right? When you remove the trauma, when you remove the fear, when you remove the actions and habits that come from the trauma and the fear, I've been able to see just who I really am. Because oftentimes, guys, we think that the actions or the thoughts that come from, and we're unaware that they come from the trauma, they come from limiting beliefs even. We think that's us. We think we're the action. We're the escape, right? Whatever habits that you do to escape, we think that's who we are. We think we're the thoughts that come with that trauma. And it's BS. And I've really been questioning them. I've really been disassembling them, just picking that shit apart and coming back to my innocence. That's one of the things that sexual trauma does to you as well. It robs you of your innocence. And like I've been reconnecting with that aspect of myself this past year. And maybe there's a couple things that you've gone through in life that disconnect you from your innocence, right? Betrayal, abandonment, all this stuff that has happened. But if you can come back to the innocence, if you can realize you're not the habit, you're not the thoughts, right? You're not those lower emotions, you're not the actions. If you can just maneuver and navigate through that and come back to your innocence again, come back to your true self, you'll really find who you are. You'll find yourself in a sense and be able to express that. And that's what I've been able to do. That's what's been the focus, like a fuller expression, deeper sense of trust, increased awareness, knowing that I'm not my trauma responses, knowing that I'm not the actions that derived from the trauma, it's been enabling for me to discover a new sense of self. And again, redefining myself in that way, right? Seeing who I really am, who I'm being, who I want to be, and focusing on that, the beingness right now. How do I want to feel? What are my values? Am I in integrity? Am I proud of myself? Am I proud of who I'm becoming? Now, and when you tap into that, now you're creating. You're really stepping into creatorship in every way. But I think, that's about it. That's about it for this journal entry. I hope it's helped you reflect on your life. And just remember, if you can come back to being the observer in every moment and see everything as neutral with acceptance, with acceptance, and then choosing how you want to feel, choosing to have the perspective of your greater self, you tap into those higher level of thoughts, those higher emotions, and you'll be able to actually choose at that time, instead of just letting your old way of responding happen and occur, right? You really have a choice when you come at it from a neutral state, and a state of acceptance of what's going on, that it is like the moment just is, and you'll really be in that moment, that present moment. You'll really be able to see what your spirit is trying to show you, what you're really trying to feel. And not just let the old self take over, or the old way of responding to things. If you can breathe in that space before choosing, you'll tap back into your power, tap back into trust. But you got to give yourself permission. If you can slow down a little bit, right? Slow down a little bit, observe. You'll be able to see the right emotion, the right choice, and you'll be able to trust. It'll cultivate a lot of trust within you. But I hope this helps, guys. I hope this helps. I've been hearing a lot of positive responses about the journal entry, so I appreciate you, listening and applying this more than anything, applying what I'm sharing, because I'm sharing my life to help yours, right? And it's all a reflection. It's all a freaking reflection.